Welcome to the Grace Informed Podcast, your backstage pass to the world of movement and the people and stories that shape it. Today, we have a very fun episode because we're really leaning into the stories part of our intro to the podcast. And we thought that we would come in and do an episode all about stories from the stage, the highs, the lows, the laughs. And yeah, starting with my bestie here on the line with us, Miss Indiana Woodward. Hello.
Oh, hello, Saskia Gregson-Williams.
Yeah, it can be a bit like that sometimes.
Craig Salstein always says, Sassy Wellis.
Yeah, and I love it. He just goes for it, and that's all I want when somebody reads out my name is just confidence. Doesn't matter how it comes out.
No.
Just confidence.
Confidence.
How are you today? I miss my best friend. I'm really feeling that right now.
I am too. I really need my best friend time. And yeah, that's how I'm feeling, honestly. I'm at work preparing for Sleeping Beauty and Serenade and Everywhere We Go and eventually Dance at a Gathering. Those are my 4 things this winter season, which is lovely. And I get to dance with Chun Wei Chan for most of it, which is epic. We have so much fun in the studio. But other than that, just trying to enjoy the nice weather. It's beautiful outside. It's very unseasonably warm, like almost a taste of spring, and then it will probably drop again.
Before I come.
Before you come, which is good that you got a winter coat finally. But yeah, other than that, I've, just been doing bits and bobs, as you would say.
Bits and bobs. I'm so excited that you are rehearsing Aurora because I saw you do a dress rehearsal of it before you debuted it, and I've never seen you do it. And I think it's something that because the story ballets are the ones that have my heart, but I know that they also have yours. So it makes me so happy because you just come to life on the stage, and I can't wait to see you play this role. So I'm so excited. And I'd love to know, what roles have your heart in the biggest way? Are there like certain ones where you're just like, you just fit so effortlessly into it and you just know this is you, a part of you?
I think for me, I really love story ballets. Like, I love playing a character. So, even if it's the cat in Sleeping Beauty or the bluebird or Russian in Swan Lake or Aurora, I really love playing characters. They still feed. My dreams are Giselle and things like that. But I also really thrive and feel very myself in ballets that have really extraordinary music. So I think that's why I've fallen in love with a lot of the Balanchine, because the music that he used was just incredible, as well as Jerome Robbins. So yeah, I think character, but then also like my relationship to the music and maybe what it tethers on in my heart. I feel like you really hear such gorgeous pieces that just like pull on your heartstrings or are really commanding, So you kind of just I get to just kind of play with all of those things. I'm so lucky too with our beautiful orchestra. So those are kind of the things.
I have a follow-up question, and I was thinking this literally to myself when I was awake at like 5 a.m. this morning looking at your Instagram, and I saw this picture of you, going out, doing a curtain call, and you had this like beaming smile on your face, the smile that like, for me as your bestie is like an addictive smile, because I'm just like, that's happiness.
Aww.
And I also know that around that time you're having some really crappy days. My question is, when you're in it and you're just like, this is a nightmare, like this is going on at home, I've got this stress, this is going on, I'm really tired. Do you just totally transform when you're on stage? Do you feel just like a different person or a different version of yourself?
Yeah, I definitely do. I feel like, number one, I'm reading a book right now that is kind of helpful. It's a bit of a self-help book that Lauren Levitt showed to me, actually, and I'm going to get the title here so that I can share it with you guys. It's called Stop Letting Everything Get to You. Or Stop Letting Everything Affect You, sorry. And it's by a wonderful author that I will share in a minute when I find it, but he's Australian. And anyways, it's really been helpful to listen to, because I do sometimes I'm just having bad days, as we all do. And I think for me to get to the stage, what I usually do is dive in even deeper to the role or to the music that I'm getting to dance with and in. But I also kind of end up surrendering, because I think a lot of the times when I'm having a bad day, it's because things have gone out of my control, whether it's the train just passed me or someone's just like hit into me in New York City, which unfortunately happens. And you're like, ow, what the heck? I've just been like punched, but not on purpose. Just
and they are almost like life, like it's like life just hitting you.
Yeah, and I'm sending out that energy because I'm already in that mode. So it's obviously coming back to me as well, because our energy, I think, is given back to us what we put out. So anyways, when I'm having those kind of intense days, which I did just have recently, I like to try to just go on stage and just absolutely surrender to it and just say, really have like an intention behind my performance, whether it's like just diving into that music, staying present, or whether it's for somebody. Like I recently just danced for my friend Brett Shefford, who unfortunately just passed away. And I'm sending all of my love to his family and everybody, and Maverick and Steven, and just thinking so deeply of them. But I really tried to channel Brett, and I also wanted to just give myself to him wherever he is in this universe. And it really was very, like, I mean, I don't want to say helpful, but it was just very much something that was special and like dear, and like for something. And I think why we perform a lot of times is to bring joy to others and to take someone to a different place, transport them, and take them into a different world. And sometimes it's easy to forget about that when you're in this day-to-day career and it's like job as well, and you're having bad days, and then you go on stage and you're like, oh wait, there's a whole audience. I'm responsible for bringing them to a magical place as well, and maybe getting a break from their life, and maybe seeing some beauty and some love in the world, which is difficult to see sometimes. And so it really, that's kind of what I dive into when I'm in those moments of a bit of despair in the day, is I try to dive into being present, maybe being more intentional with my work, and always remembering that, I'm bringing some light and joy to hopefully the audience that's in front of me,
I love that. I was speaking with, I guess, my aunt recently about something somebody had said to her, and it really resonates in terms of how people that are listening to this can adapt that philosophy and feeling into their everyday lives, which is that like this idea that perhaps creatively we were brought into this world with one real creative pull, and we lose it after childhood. Like maybe as a kid you just loved to draw, or you loved to paint, or you loved to dance, and then going back to those things are the things that kind of give you that like life energy, even if they aren't something that you pursued. Like doing things that you loved as a kid, I really believe can also help transport yourself to somewhere else. And when she was saying that to me, it really resonated, because it's the reason that I feel so much more myself once I've gone to class, because I just feel stuff in me has shifted, because it just brings me back to this beautiful place. And I think that it's really hard to do that, and you're in some ways forced, but also you've got like all this kind of energy behind you when you're on a stage. But we talk about it often, you go home with your mum and you're coloring when you go and spend time with her. You guys do all this creative stuff, and I think it's a really beautiful way to find creativity and joy and love and see something different in your life. This podcast is an extension of our app, Grace and Floor, where we bring ballet classes and ballet-inspired movement practices to you from beginner to pro, so everybody and everybody can experience our love of dance in their own home.
Absolutely, and we want to share everything that makes us feel amazing with you, and you don't even need a studio, and that's what's so wonderful about it. You can feel good anywhere.
So download the app, get a 7-day free trial, come move with me and Indy and some of our wonderful guests and incredible teachers.
We can't wait to see you.
There's obviously the ways that you come on stage, and then there are the stories. And something that I grew up always knowing, my mum was an actress, was all the ridiculous things that had happened on stage for her. You know, the times she'd been on stage doing a serious scene and somebody had like mooned her from the wings, or like when they'd switched her outfits, when the quick change outfit wasn't there, all the different things that like gave that family, community, fun feel behind the stages that keeps you going even when the season's really long, and keeps you guys really tight knit. I would love to hear some fun stories from you. I'd also love to hear about all the times you've fallen and have gotten up, because they've been edited into many a montage, and you are such a blinking trooper because you have fallen hard in your days. So give it to me. Tell me some stories that come to mind.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the falling ones first because they always are at the forefront of my mind.
I wonder why. Slap down on the floor, straight back up in a count.
I've done that so many times. Okay, so this one is actually because of someone, which I just loved. So I was doing the Demi part in Christopher Wheeldon's Mercurial Maneuvers, and I was doing it with Sarah Vowalk, and Gonzalo Garcia was the lead guy, and we were like his little like sidekicks, kind of.
Cute.
And there's a moment where Sarah Vowalk and I are dancing on the stage, back and forth, really complicated, wonderful movement. And then Gonzalo runs out in between us, and then he goes and he prepares for a really big turn. And he goes and he prepared for his turn, and he swung his right arm so far and so fast, he like karate chopped my chest to the ground. Like, he like clotheslined me to the ground.
Was I there for this one? There was one. Was that somebody's leg? Yeah, somebody hit you in a 3-0. So
yes, probably that. Yeah. Somehow you've been there for probably all of my falls.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Don't even worry.
Good luck, charm too. That's so funny. Poor Gonzalo. So what happened? He hits you. You fall to the floor.
He does his turn, I think, probably really well, which I hope so. And I just remember I was on the floor in like resting like mummy like mode, and then I just like pop back up, and then I just took my position, because like literally in this piece you have one count for every step, and you know, if you get off of that count, you're with another person doing every single step exactly the same. So if you're off, it's really bad. And I just remember popping up in like 1 second, and it was like and we're going. And I just was like, I was in such disbelief that it happened. But also it's incredible what your body just does it. It's amazing.
Also, you are such a musical girly. That like body is hardwired to be like, oh my God, the count is coming. And
I better get up.
Yeah. Like there's something superhuman that just happens in that time. It's like when you have a video and then you go do the rewind of it, and it looks like somebody's doing something humanly impossible. She goes from mummy pose straight back up, hits the count.
Totally.
Continues.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so there's a couple other ones that are coming to mind right now. Another Christopher Wheeldon ballet, I was doing Polyphonia, and I was doing the Waltz Girl with Giovanni Furlan. And we were doing the Potacot section with Unity Phelan, Chen Wei Chan, myself, and Giovanni. So like dream team Potacot on stage, where we just had so much fun and couldn't help but like, you know, let out a huge smile when we turned and saw each other there. And we were going around, and somehow I just slid. I caught the side of my shoe, slow motion, I'm falling to the ground sideways with the biggest smile on my face. And Giovanni just literally just catches me and puts me on his shoulder like what the lift is. But obviously it was so much harder because I was from the ground to the shoulder. But there's a video of it. I mean, it is hysterical because the amount of smiling that I have on my face because I just trust Giovanni. And he just picked me up. And if you look in the background, I'm going to try find these so we can attach these in the video.
Please.
The background people are like, the person doing the lift in the back is Unity and Chun. And you can see on Unity's face, upside down and backwards, she's eyeballing me like, where is this girl going? She's on the floor. Oh my gosh, is she gonna get up? And you could just see the like sheer terror in both her and Chun's face. It was so funny.
That's also like just a hilarious group to have on stage because you guys all just love each other so much and you have such a giggly time, and then something just dramatic and crazy and silly is happening. I love it.
Oh my gosh, it was really epic. I've had a couple other slips on stage. I don't know why. Maybe because I jet glue my shoes. There might be
Also,
like
you go for it. You know,
I go for it.
You attack it, and you
Thanks.
know when you take risks, there's going to be falls.
True.
You know, most of the risks pay off. Some of them you pay down onto the ground.
down. They go down.
You go down, and then you go back up again,
and then I pop back up,
and you just pop back up, and you know that was the time.
Yeah. So the two other ones that I'm thinking of like sliding are me and Chun doing Valse Fantasy. Oh, sorry. La Valse. I always get them confused. I really shouldn't, but similar names. La Valse, and it's like dramatic. He is death. I'm like this beautiful, white, elegant character in this piece, and I'm being swept up by death. And right before I get swept up by death, I trip and I go to the ground. Again, the same kind of position. And then Chun just flings me into the air like a rag doll, like, no problem. It was totally fine. And we were like, you know, it's a really serious part, but our eyes, like what we were saying to each other while it was happening was just epic. We were just like trying not to laugh because it was such a big slide fall. And he just like flung me up. It was so fun. And then last one with Chun in Everywhere We Go, which we'll be performing, there's a left step up turn after quite a hard partnering step. And so I'm dizzy because I'm upside down. Chun is dizzy because he's picking me up. And I go to do the step up, but he's not fully there to get me. And I like fall almost in the orchestra pit because it's so far forward. And I just jump with like 2 feet down and come back up. And he goes, sorry, are you okay? And it's just so cute.
Oh, and
so cute.
So funny how time can feel so stretched in those moments.
Oh my goodness.
Like, you know, I like one of the things that when I started performing, I always go back to was this memory of me as a kid when I was, you know, in a ballet competition, and it was the group section of this competition in the UK where you have a couple of dancers, so it's a group of you. There's 3 of us, and we were obviously very little because this is the thing that then put the like fear of God into me about like going on stage and forgetting what you're doing, which was that we had to write out the word hippopotamus while each of us was doing something. And it went to my part, and I'd done it for weeks, you know, and I somebody had done the hip, and I had to do the middle part, which is obviously the weirdest bit, like the ottomer. And so I was doing it, and then I forgot how to spell it, and so then I just stopped, and I was kind of going back and forth. All of a sudden, look around, obviously it's the end of the piece. I've just been standing there trying to write something. I'm probably like 8. So for years afterwards, the idea of going on stage and just forgetting something, I would just be thinking about this hippopotamus when you know, I forgot to spell it, and I was just there.
Terrifying.
I know that you also have that fear of being like, if I'm going to go on stage and forget what I'm going to do, and I can understand it as well, because we all have those moments where we're like, I'm just going to go blank. Yes. Have you ever gone on stage and just done something totally different to what was choreographed?
Why, yes, Sassy. I have. At the New York City Ballet, I was employed as a corps member.
Yeah.
And these were my dark days. So we had a ballet mistress, Rosemary Dunleavy, who is absolutely iconic and incredible and so talented and so inspiring and just kind of everything. She's just everything of this beautiful legacy of New York City Ballet. And she would teach us the steps. And she could tell that I was like a little bit, maybe like, I don't want to say too happy, but like I was very happy and excited. And so with that, it's like I was also maybe a little distracted at times, like because I was just so excited to have a job dancing with my friends. Like it was, you know, in the beginning, I mean, I still feel that way, but it was really a privilege and an honor to be chosen to be in the company. And so I was just so excited, and I was really nervous because I'd never used that part of my brain to memorize steps. You know, I came from a very classical background, and we did solos for YGP like, you know, years on end. And so I just learned one solo, and that's it. And so those steps were ingrained in me, and I never really learned things quickly because we just never exercised that muscle so much. Yeah. And so when I got to SAB, you know, we had to learn things very quickly then. So that was like the beginning. And then at New York City Ballet, you have to learn things like, you know, in 1 second. And then you have to perform it. So there's a lot more risk. So she definitely saw that I wasn't fully formed in that way. And so she, every rehearsal, would keep me afterwards, or like would schedule a solo rehearsal with me and do the whole ballet by myself again.
Ooh.
And I felt like, I mean, it was the scariest thing on earth, and I felt like she hated me, but it was really just because she was trying to get me to be better. And I think she saw, you know, a lot of potential in me, so she wanted to help me like fully form my learning ability. And so anyways, I would be like staying afterwards doing the entire Symphony in 3 by myself, which is Stravinsky music, counting out loud, like, you know, it's crazy counts. So whenever I would go on stage, I was so nervous that I'd get things wrong because I fulfilled this like nervousness of not remembering the steps in the studio, like this reality, this that I was like kind of like that. And so I adopted that I was this person that was super forgetful when in fact I'm actually quite a quick learner.
Yeah.
So there was a moment in time where I would, before going on stage, I was like, I don't know if I remember the steps. And you can ask anybody that you've met in this company. I go over steps like crazy right before I go on stage because of that feeling, that fear. So there was a ballet called Suite 3, still called Suite 3. And there's a scrim in the front. So it's kind of like a dreamlike ballet. It's very odd, like there's long flowy skirts, your hair is down, you're in flat shoes. It's right before Theme and Variations, one of the most classical, like prestigious, bright tutu point shoe ballets. And I was going on and as a core member, and I remember right before going on, Rosemary had said, because our hair's down, girls, don't forget to take off any elastics or rubber bands or anything that you have to keep your hair up in backstage. And so I was like, okay, of course, you know, we should definitely do that. We don't want to have bracelets on, you know. I go and I do the first sauté on stage, and it's frantic music. It's called the scherzo section. So it's like dun 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 dun, and it's like really frantic. And your hair's down, you're running, and you're intertwined with girls. I jump first sauté, there's a hairband on my wrist. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, Rosemary is going to kill me. She's going to kill me. I'm looking at the hairband. I'm like, I'm still doing the steps at first. And then I'm trying to figure out also how to take this hairband off. But what happens is that I'm so fixated on this freaking hairband that I'm just sauteing by myself on stage. Everyone's moved on. My partner, Claire, is looking at me like sheer terror in her eyes. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have lost it, woman. You have to come back to me is like what she's like trying to say with her eyes. And then I'm so lost in the music and in the movement already that I just start torjeting like alone. I mean, I don't even know how I'm employed. So when I remember this story, I'm like, I really messed up, like really. And I came off stage and Rosemary came up to me and she goes, what happened? And I was so scared. I was like, I'm really sorry, Rosemary. I saw a hairband on my wrist, and I knew that you didn't want that on my wrist. So I was trying to figure out how to take it off. And then I forgot the choreography, and then I was lost on stage. It was terrible. And then from then on, that ballet just like really scarred me. Like I was just so scared. So when it came back, here's another one.
Oh, no.
It was like my terror ballet. It came back, and I'm in the same spot. I should know the steps by now. And I was in the other section. I lead out all of the girls for the entire part of this ballet out to continue into the finale. And I'm counting with my friends backstage, and everyone's like, and myself are like, go. So I run out on stage. I'm doing the steps. I'm starting to do the steps. I'm realizing, I've led the entire quarter ballet out 8 counts early. Oh, okay. Daniel Ulbricht is now smashing into girls. Emily Garrity's running across the stage. It was like chaos. And what was so sweet was just that my whole like team of Scherzo friends, Rosemary came up to me obviously and she was like, so what happened out there, girls? And everybody was like, we're so sorry, we lost count. And I was standing there like, thank you, friends. because
They
I
had
don't
your
know.
back.
They had my back. And also, to be fair, we really did, I think, all get it wrong because, whoever, there could have been a quicker tempo or, I mean, it was very silly. It was very silly of us and it was really silly of me. I was the one that did it. But it was like a terror, a nightmare. So that's like my biggest.
That's so funny. I just think it's amazing because you can so get into that like hilarious mental space where you're like, I see a hairband on my, and then everything goes wrong.
Everything's wrong.
You're lost in your brain and you're just no longer, I mean,
and
it's
when you have
hilarious.
skirts swishing, a scrim down, so it's a little blurry everywhere. The hair is going in your face. Everyone else has that as well. It was just like, that was a wild moment. I'll never forget it.
I think it's so nice to hear as well because there's going to be so many people that have just gone, oh my God, have I just like messed this up? And also, is this what these people think of me? Because what's funny is the two things could be true. As a young core dancer, you're like, okay, she doesn't think that I have the steps down. I need to, she's pushing me to make sure that that's a muscle I grow. And then, oh my God, I've messed up here, I've messed up there. But then also you were so reliable that you were put into everything. So you're able to build like both parts of you as this dancer who's never off, is always there, is always willing, always gonna, and also, you have this other part. So I think it's a good thing to hear when the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves as well, like they often become the story, yes, because then you're lost completely fearful on stage with a hairband issue. But you can be two things.
I mean, all I have to tell you is that learning steps and being confident with yourself on the stage with the steps is a journey, and you learn and you grow. And so you just always have to practice because you can do it. Yeah. I'm saying it out there for everybody. You can do it. I have now had to go in. I mean, even right after that, I had to go into so many ballets, like the day of learning the steps 1 hour in advance, and I could do it. So you have to just trust yourself that, the brain is totally that muscle, like that quick fire, quick remembering all these things. That's a muscle, and you can do it.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely what I'm now very reliable for. If they need me to do something, I just go for it.
Yeah, you're quick as anything. But yeah, that's a skill
that
you grow. So now we're going to pass it on to our friends who have all the stage stories for you too. So we will hand the baton over, hear the hairband stories from some other wonderful humans and dancers who have been on their own journeys.
Oh my goodness. Yes, here we go.
This episode of the Grace Informed podcast is sponsored by a wonderful donor who wants to shine a light on some of the most impactful dance and art charities in the world. Today we're highlighting the National Dance Institute's Dream Project. At NDI, the belief is simple but powerful. Everyone can dance. It's a mission that's close to our heart. Indiana herself has performed numerous times at NDI with the incredible Daniel Ulbrich, who has a huge impact on this incredible institute. She's seen firsthand the incredible impact the work has on young dancers and their communities. If you'd like to support the Dream Project, you can donate at nationaldance.org. Every contribution helps keep the joy of dance accessible to every child.
Okay, I'm here with Alexa Maxwell, soloist at New York City Ballet, and she's going to tell us her really good stories.
I definitely have had a lot of mishaps happen to me, but the most recent one was in my debut of Western Symphony. It was like the second step that we did, and it's a big lunge step grand jeté, and I don't know exactly how it happened, but I somehow kicked off the heel of my point shoe, and this was in the beginning, so there's like a lot left, and I was like, how am I gonna get through this whole patada? And it was my debut, so I was really excited, and it was also,
and it's puffy,
and it's super puffy. I was like, I don't have energy for this. So I basically, we finished the grand jetés and we get to the slow part of the patada, and I could just see everyone in the core, because they're standing around, I could just see them all look down. Like everyone was staring. And then in the wings, it was like people were gathering in the wings
to
just
see what was
staring
going to
at my
happen.
But my partner, Alec Knight, at the time, I was trying to like give him like a, there's something amiss here. But he was so blissfully unaware. And thank God nothing actually went bad. Like nothing, we were able to do it. And I basically did the whole thing on just the box because my heel was off.
That's wild.
So it got really janky. I luckily get to go off at one point, and I put my shoe on so fast, and everyone backstage was like, "Go!" Like, I felt like I had the whole company like cheering me on.
Of course,
which was
that's
really
a nightmare.
cool. And then we got off stage after the movement, collapsed to the floor because it's just so puffy.
Naturally.
And Alec was like, "You were giving me this different smile." I was like, "My shoe was off the entire time," and he was like, "I had no idea." So it was still really fun, but that was definitely, I was having a full blown crisis in my head.
It's so scary
that whole time. So when I got to do it again, I was a lot more relaxed.
Yeah, you were probably thrilled.
Free.
Your shoe was on.
My shoe was on.
Okay, now I really want you to tell this other story that I was present for. That is one of my favorite stories on stage.
Yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about. It was Troy Schumacher's Common Ground, and we had these costumes that were like...
Oh,
really
we have a little...
Oh, yeah.
Hold, this is our... We're having a recording of our Nutcracker.
They're calling snow to the
Calling
stage.
snow to the
and
stage.
Yes, it's January 9th, and they are doing snow today. Those poor girls.
Those poor girls.
So we had these really stringy costumes, and they were very loose, and there was just these long things that were dangling off of them. And in the middle of the first movement, my strings somehow got tied together, like in a knot. Like I could not rip my arms apart, so I had to do all the choreography with like...
With two arms
like
attached.
T-Rex arms, like doing all the steps.
And it's also so hard.
It's so another really puffy thing. And I was like, I don't have time for this. And it was also a ballet that was very communal. So the cast was all looking at each other the whole time. So Tess Reichland, Russell, Jansen, Joe, everyone was just like hysterically laughing
dying
at me
on stage.
And finally we got to go off, and I'm like, well, that was just so embarrassing. Like, I couldn't do the arms. And Tess just went right up to the stand where we sew in. She took a pair of scissors and just snipped me up and cut my strings so short. She was like, well, that's not happening. Yeah.
That was literally one of my
wing.
favorite experiences watching you dance on stage, just because you were so full out, but in sheer panic of the hands that were caught. Like, you were handcuffed.
But you had to, and whenever something like this happens, because we've all had these things, it's like you have to just find something within yourself to keep going.
Yeah,
it's
you
crazy.
do. You do.
And what's also really cool about it is you see how everyone comes from backstage. Like, the audience never knows, but people like congregate, and everyone's just so involved.
You're
and,
in
like,
it.
cheering you on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's very
That's
exciting.
like the most familial time the company is, I feel
everyone like bands together to like watch this one person.
How can we help her?
How can we help her? But we can't.
But we can't.
But those are, I mean, I've had many things, but those I would say they're the two.
Lexi's a really good go-getter on stage, where she goes for it, kind of like what I was talking about. She goes for it and does fall sometimes, but she gets back up in 1 second.
I fall a lot.
Me too.
Sebastian Villarini says that I have a contract with the floor. He's like, you just go for it and you're just down. And when I'm down,
you're down.
But I never, like, it's never... like, I never get like hurt, really. It's just so strange.
You just go for it. You just catch an
Man.
edge. Well, thank you for sharing your stories, Lex.
It's a good laugh always.
Hello, everyone. I'm sitting here with Mira Nadon. She's a principal dancer with the New York City Ballet, and I want to ask her about all of her iconic mishap stories on the stage.
We have many.
We have many.
Okay, so I have two that really come to mind. The first was the first season that I debuted Sugar Plum. It was not my debut, but it was my second show.
Okay.
And I somehow kicked off the heel of my left point shoe when I did the pas de chas in the very beginning of the variation. So then the rest of the variation, my internal monologue, I was like, dude, I can't go off stage. That's so obvious. I don't want to bend down and pick my shoe, because it's going to ruin the flow. Everyone's going to notice. So I was like, I think I just have to continue. So I did the whole variation with my heel off my shoe, slightly falling off. It was a standing leg for my fifth position turn.
Oh, no.
So it was a hope and a prayer. Honestly, the fifth position turns, I've definitely done them worse with two heels on.
And if anybody knows, that variation is really hard and very long. And so it's a lot of point work.
I could see everyone, it was towards the end of the run, so honestly, it gave everyone in the wings some entertainment. But I could see when I looked into the wings, everyone started gathering and were just watching me with shock and horror.
Oh my gosh, it's a theme. We were talking to Lexi Maxwell, and she was also talking about how she kicked her heel off in Western.
You know, I'd never ever done it in rehearsal.
It's so scary when that happens.
It was scary. But I made it to the end. The last diagonal, every time I did a coupe, it like flipped a little, came off like with every coupe. So
you had a really long foot by the end.
I really did. And I was like, okay, I can go off stage after I tell the prince to do his pantomime. So I made it until then, because I was thinking, I was like, there's no way I can do a soda shot with my foot like this. I'm actually going to roll my ankle.
So you exited
so
the
I
stage.
exited. I told him, please do your mime.
And
then
you
I
left.
And,
And
then when he told the story, and it's da-da-da-da, I came back on and I went and did a big
work. That's epic.
So hopefully, if you hadn't seen the show before, you wouldn't notice too much.
Totally.
And then my other mishap is a costume mishap, which this is actually for a dress rehearsal. Thank God it was not a show. But I was debuting in Rutmansky's Namuna.
Okay.
And it was the first Rutmansky ballet I'd ever done. I'd just been promoted to principal, and it was our complete before the show.
Okay.
And I was supposed to do the second cast, and Megan Fairchild got injured, so I was bumped up to the first cast, and they were making new costumes. So I had even tried to prevent this from happening, because as soon as I found out she went out, I texted the costume shop. I said, just so you know, I'm going to need my costume a little earlier than we originally thought. They said, great, no problem. But for some reason, maybe it got lost in translation. I went to the complete. My costume was not ready, so they put me in someone else's costume.
Oh, no.
Which seemed like it was fine enough.
At the time.
But these costumes, from the front, they look like they're strapless. And they have a nude mesh on the top that holds them up. And I'm doing this part it's very fun and cheeky. You're supposed to be smoking a cigarette. And halfway through, everyone is yelling at me in the wings. And I look down and I realize that my top has gone all the way down and my boobs are completely out.
Like full top
just
down?
Mesh.
Oh my gosh.
And I couldn't really feel it because I still felt covered because
it's
of the mesh.
the whole thing. It's like all the way up to your neck.
I had just been promoted. I'd never worked with Ramsey. I was like, this is my complete. I'm not stopping. I have no choice. I need to keep going. So I was just trying to pull my dress up every 5 seconds. And then with my cigarette, smoking my cigarette with my top down.
Honestly, it was just perfect.
So that was interesting, and our wonderful costume shop got me my costume for my show, and it was totally fine.
Oh my gosh.
But that was definitely eventful.
That's
and
epic.
It was funny. There were some of the boys in the audience, and they said that they were like covered their eyes.
They were like, "Don't look at Mira. Don't look at Mira."
So that was funny.
We've had lots of fun costume
but at least
malfunctions.
it wasn't a show, so I didn't really care.
I mean, and you're a beautiful dancer,
it's
so
kind
it
of
doesn't
funny.
matter.
Whatever.
It was just the bonus for the audience.
Gilbert does keep on saying that he's going to dress up as Halloween as that and have a cigarette and just be chicly smoking a cigarette.
That's epic.
With his top down.
It. Well, thank you for sharing, Mira.
Of course.
Okay, I'm here with KJ Takahashi, and he is a soloist with New York City Ballet, and he's going to tell us his story of his wonderful experience in Hyph.
Yeah, I think this was in like my last core year. I got thrown into Hyph Divertimento in the core, and it was one of those ballets that I didn't really do well studying.
Oh, no.
So I got thrown into it, and I learned as much as I could. But there's like it was like towards the end of the ballet, and there was like one section where I was doing a step with someone else next to me, but I was all the way downstage, so I couldn't really follow anybody in front of me.
Oh no.
And I was like trying to do the step, but I was fully looking back towards him, not doing it right. There's a video of it out there somewhere.
Oh, we got to find it.
Yeah.
I was telling them the story of my Suite 3 where I forgot all of the steps because I had a hair tie on my wrist, and I was just doing tourgetés, sautés, like I went like...
Was that the last time we did it?
No, thank God.
Oh.
My God. No,
Okay.
this was like when I was in the corps, like one of my first years in the corps.
Oh.
It was kind of like what you're talking about, like when you go on and you just don't remember the steps and you're panicking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was pretty much that, but it was pretty bad. I mean, I really stood out like a sore thumb. Like I did not know. You could tell like people were like, oh.
And there's
he
only
doesn't
4
know.
couples on stage too for that.
Right.
So I just introduced Naomi Corti as a corps member, and I was wrong. She's a soloist.
You just saw me do snow.
I did just see you do snow a lot, but no, you're a soloist. It's so exciting.
Thank you.
So yeah, we wanted just to ask you, what are some mishaps you've had in your life at New York City Ballet?
Should we start from the beginning?
Let's start from the very beginning.
Okay. Well, I wiped out in workshop, famously in
What ballet?
Hallelujah Junction.
Oh no.
Yeah, I did a PK Arabesque, and my partner, John Fahori, love him,
Sweetheart.
was, when they're backing up the chorus, like doing my PK and they're kind of going around each other, he went under my leg, and my plan to bring my back leg down.
Oh.
And I just face planted. And my favorite thing that happened is that I got up and I went to grab his hands because we had to do like the little swivels.
Yes.
And he had both his hands over his mouth.
Because he was in shock? Oh my God, so he didn't even give you the hand?
Yeah, I'm sure. And everyone joked that, like, Peter had been like, yeah, she'll get in. Like, that was, like, his moment where he was like, she got up.
I love it.
But,
I mean, yeah, the name of the game is getting up.
That was the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And then I did Herman. That was it had to have been, 30 seconds into the ballet. It was my first step.
Yeah.
On Big Pod Bourrée.
Yeah. And that was a scary ballet. We were in it together.
I knew that I was doing it a week before.
And Naomi, you were an apprentice?
I was an apprentice. I was 17 years old.
Yeah, so.
It wasn't, I was nervous.
Yeah, obviously. And also Naomi is a very active dancer, like where she just goes.
I had to
goes for it
to pull things back. Yeah, I'm still learning.
No, but I think that going for it is the best.
It's great. There's times to make sure.
Yeah, for sure. You're not wrong.
I'm learning. Everybody that's really on me about it.
Okay, and then, well, I've had a lot of occasions with you where you've fallen on your face and then you've had gashes.
Oh, in rehearsal.
In rehearsals, Pam Tanowitz.
Yeah. Wait, I'll send you the photo of Unity looking at me on the floor.
Yes, please.
Because that was one of my favorites. Yes. Bill also told me to fall again the next time.
He did?
Yeah, he was like,
Bill Forsyth.
Yeah. Okay. And I was like,
You're like, that maybe hurt a little bit.
I don't think I will. He was like, everyone sat up straight. And I was like, I'm sure.
That was scary.
But yes, in a Pam Tanowitz, I did a piqué forte to a flat back arabesque on point. And it was like an hour before the show.
Yeah.
Because we were having
an emergency, I think.
We were in costume though.
Yeah. I think it was a complete, but I think it was because we were adding someone. On. Oh, yes.
And I hit my face and nothing else. Nothing else hit the ground.
And Naomi came up to me and she said,
no, we were doing the ponies. Oh. And you and Emmy were facing me. Do you remember this?
That's what it was.
I could kind of feel something dripping down my chin.
Oh.
But I remember I looked up and I was ponying. You guys were like, are you okay? And I was like, uh-huh. And I couldn't find which face was yours because there were it was like you guys had a bunch of floating, I couldn't focus my eyes. There were multiple of you guys. And then you both were like, get off stage.
Oh my God.
Get off right now. And then I went upstairs. It was my first time meeting Dr. Williams.
Oh, yeah.
I walked up there and I said, I think something happened. He had me take my mask off because you guys had checked me and then he put the mask back on me.
Oh, yeah.
For me to see it.
I mean, when you said, am I okay?
My face open.
Your face was cracked open.
Yeah, I still have a scar. They glued me. But anyways, I went up there and I said, if I see how bad it is, I'm going to pass out.
Yeah.
Or I'll throw up. One thing will happen.
Yeah.
And so he sent me to urgent care and I went alone.
I know. I remember.
You guys did the show.
Yeah, but that was sad.
And I remember Glenn
but didn't you come back for the show?
I did the show.
Oh, my God.
So Glenn FaceTimed me, I think, while I was at urgent care. I walked past my parents because they were sitting at Rosa's. And I walked to urgent care, and my parents were like, where are you going? I was like, don't worry about it.
Oh, my God.
They were coming to the show, and I didn't want to scare them. I must have had a concussion.
You must have had a concussion.
I wasn't showing symptoms yet, apparently.
So
they
bad.
glued my face shut. They asked me if I wanted staples, and I said no.
Ew.
Because that's my face. And I'm a little vain. I'll say it. I don't want staples in my face. And then they glued it, but then I couldn't talk because it was on my was on my jaw. So I wasn't allowed to move. So they put makeup on me from my eyes up. They put makeup on my face so that I looked stage ready. But then I had nothing on from my nose down. I couldn't have any makeup on. And then I couldn't talk the entire time. So everyone kept coming up to me and asking me if I was okay. And I was like, mm-hmm. And I was typing on my phone talking to you guys.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
I had to do reverse fortes. The en dedans fortes.
Oh, with your jaw
you guys did
open
around me.
Oh my gosh.
I had a concussion. There's no way they were good. We should find the video.
We should find the video.
It's probably terrible.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a scary video. That's a scary fall.
But also, do you remember that Pam had added that day that I was supposed to peek out of the wing and look at Miriam while she was
I remember,
in front?
yes.
And people thought that I had hit my head and I was just I was just going rogue.
That's really good.
Naomi, what are you doing?
Did you just add something?
I was on the floor, peeking out of the wing in the middle of a show, and they were like, "Oh my God, she's lost her mind. It's over. It's done.
The concussion is happening now."
I told her to do that, and she's always backstage, laughing. She's like,
"Oh my gosh!"
So
that's epic.
Yeah, that was an epic one.
Okay, that was definitely more of a sad one though, because you were in a lot of pain. Okay, can you give me a couple funny ones? Because I know you've also lived those. And I know there's one in particular that I really want to hear about for our listeners or viewers, because this is really good.
Do not giggle when I tell this.
You can giggle.
Okay. We did Love Letter with the same cast for probably 80 shows. On tour and everything, probably 80 shows.
Which is a Kyle Abraham piece.
Yes.
Yep.
And there was one show that was cursed. So many things went wrong. And like people like missed their like spots.
Oh boy.
Or like spots were like things were happening. And at one point I had like a little like in and out where I do a crazy turn and then I have to shunny backwards into the wing.
Yeah.
And I wrapped myself. I like do like a, you know, in PC2 when the like solo girl does
Yes.
that like kind of flick flack thing
Yes.
for like the hinder.
It's like
I
a
do
little.
that and then I shunny backwards.
Yes.
And so I wrapped my foot in the wing and then I started shunning and I wrapped myself into
Into the wing?
Oh my God. But then there was a brick on stage.
Oh.
Because of the wing.
Yes, so it stops it.
So I am wrapped in it, but then I have to unravel myself. So you see me like
On
flying
stage?
at the wing, but I'm in it. So you can't see what's going on. And it's so dark that you can't really tell what's happening. But everyone backstage is crying. And
Oh
laughing so
my
hard.
goodness.
So this is happening. Very next entrance we have to do is called I Mind.
Oh,
And
yes.
Ruby and I like have had so many mishaps in it. At one point, Ruby goes to do something, falls into a full split. But like not just like a down and up. They were like down. And then all I saw, I looked down and they looked at me like this.
Like in
A
shock.
lizard. Like a literal lizard. Like eyes wide open, like looking at me. And didn't get up right away. So I was like, are you okay? Like what's going on?
Oh, no.
They were completely fine. But it was just like after that, even Tyler was like giggling on stage. We couldn't hold it together.
You all lost it.
We lost
It happens.
And then afterwards, we get off of stage and everyone's trying to ask us what happened. And we just like couldn't get it out.
No
and
idea.
then after that, we had to do Grand Play on stage, but everyone's giggling. At that point, the entire cast is giggling. And we're all like shaking, trying to do like the slowest Grand Play of our lives. And it was
Honestly, those are fun shows.
such a fun show. It was like the last of like a really long run too.
Yeah.
And so it just like felt like everything just unraveled.
Live theater, it's
But it
very
was
magical.
So funny. There was also a show, I think we did it in Chicago, where the audience was incredible. It was like a rock concert all of a sudden.
Oh my gosh.
And
I do remember
did
that,
a kind
actually.
of crazy turn, and it went better than it usually does. And someone stood up, and like,
We're so excited.
realized that like that's not like they like yelled and like stood up, and I was like,
They thought they were at a game.
it was
You know.
so fun. It was literally like we were at a rock concert.
my God, I
we've
love
had
it.
A lot of fun moments in that.
Okay, and then the last one that I want to ask you about is Symphony in 3 movements. When you were in the core of that ballet, there was just to give you a little backstory. So Symphony in 3 movements is a really hard ballet. I actually mentioned it in this episode. It's Stravinsky, really hard counts, very chaotic, but like genius. And you start in a line of women with a ponytail in a white leotard with a belt. And it's a line of 16 women, I think.
16 women, and you have
And-
to take the first note from the conductor.
First note from the conductor, it's very serious. And once you start, you never stop. So like you're on stage and you're like buckled in.
You're counting for your life. You're listening for your life. You're eyeing people for your life. But also you can't see anything that's going on.
Right.
Because at least for me, I'm the tallest. I was in the front.
Yeah, so Naomi
I
was
could
in the
see-
front of this show.
I was-
And
Oh God. So what happened was we had to
This is
hear
crazy.
the music before.
right.
And we think that they just got excited. And as the curtain was coming up, the curtain comes up in silence. Once we all kind of take a breath, usually the audience claps, it goes silent again, and we start.
and then it goes
There's a
dun,
breath
dun, dun, dun.
And we, when after the conductor comes up, he comes down, or they come down, and that is when we start our
A
big
windmill.
You throw yourself into that windmill.
That's a rocking roll.
Yes.
Rock and roll. Wow.
Yeah, that
Rocket.
ponytail has to come down. It has to flip back up. So you have to kind of whip your head a little bit, because if you don't, it's in your face, and then you're annoyed from the beginning. Like it's in your way. So again, you're in Chandu. You're already kind of in a vulnerable state.
You're exposed.
You're not stable. And the thing is, you're ready to lock in visually, but you're not really ready to catch that first note, like actually with your, like you're ready to see the first note and then you can go. What happened was the curtain started to come up and we heard the music. And you think everyone has an idea of what they would do in that situation. Let me tell you, I froze.
We're going to put this video here because it's so epic.
So-
Naomi literally stays still
I
and
know.
it's chaos behind.
Well, there was it was a very mixed.
Yeah, half
thing.
and half,
and
right?
half. But the
Stayed.
thing is, if you saw that everyone else moved, you would move with them.
Right.
4 counts later.
But you couldn't see.
But I couldn't see anyone.
Oh.
So, but by the time the curtain came up and you could see Lytton, he was saying stop. He was yelling stop and going like this. So we knew that we were going to stop by the time like
it was halfway.
The curtain was halfway up. So then at that point, if you had started dancing, you can't even see that he's saying stop.
Oh my goodness.
So people are still going. The orchestra finally stops and he says, okay, let's reset.
And this is a show. Like this is with paid performance. This has never happened in the history of New York City Ballet, I don't think.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
But it felt like the longest thing. So then they say reset, and I think they like looked over my shoulder to see if people, whoever was next to me was an apprentice, and she had been thrown in.
Oh my goodness.
So this was her first show of it. She had a rehearsal. She was my understudy, but she was getting put into a 3 instead of a 1.
Oh no. Which
probably doesn't make sense to anyone. But there's 1s and 3s, and you move on different counts. And I had never done 1 before because Christina used to be 1, and I had to move because things shifted.
Yeah.
So this was already like a high stress. It was so bad. Let me tell you, I've always thought I was quick. I was so slow. I froze. Like fight or flight.
You froze.
Froze.
Fight, flight, or freeze.
Fight. Shut down.
Oh my God.
I've never even held a tendu that long in my life.
Yeah, but you were holding it then.
I clenched.
Yeah, you said no. We gotta restart.
No thought going on in my head. If you look at it, crickets are going on in my head.
I can't wait for you guys to see this video.
It's so funny.
Oh my God.
But like some people like shot into the tendu. Other people are like joining in. I don't even know. I genuinely like didn't even think about it. I was like, oh wait, what?
It's so crazy.
So funny.
This stuff doesn't really happen often.
You know that I mean, Symphony 3, I love to watch it. I did not enjoy
dancing that.
It was so stressful.
It's stressful.
It's just not something that I feel is my strong suit.
Understandable.
Thank you for listening to the Grace Informed podcast. This episode was produced by Indiana Woodward, Megan Elsie McNally, and me, Saskia Gregson-Williams. If you're really loving the show, it would be wonderful if you take a moment to rate and review us. It helps other ballet lovers find our pod and lets us bring you even more episodes. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.
Have thoughts, questions, or topics you'd like us to explore? You can find us on all social media platforms as Grace and Form Studio. Drop us a message. If this episode has got you itching to move, oh, do we have the app for you. Download the Grace and Form app today and start your 7-day free trial. Whether you're a seasoned dancer or just starting out, there are ballet classes and dance-inspired workouts for everyone, no matter the level. Come join our community of dance lovers and experience the joy of movement for yourself. Again, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, take a deep breath in, be gentle with yourself, and always keep moving forward.